What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Pod Scum. I am, of course, your host, Reckless Rexx Ruger. That, of course, is the Freddie Mercury puppet. We are back with another banger of an episode. It's what we do, kids, and we ain't about to change it now. Before we get down to it, I will, as I do every episode, address the proverbial elephant in the room. You're only human. You can't take your eyes off these smoldering good looks, these luscious blonde rock star locks. I'm going to cop to it. You are looking at the one and only love child of one Diamond David Lee Roth. There. I've divulged it. I've come clean. I feel much better. And now we can get down to it, which is, of course, another incredible episode of Pod Scum. Before my guest gets in here, I'll give you my obligatory promotional spiel, because as you know, if you have a podcast, you gotta pimp it. The pimp hand is feeling very strong, so I'm going to give this a go. Make sure to tap into Pod Scum on Facebook. Our handle is Off the Couch Boxing and Pod Scum. Do not be confused. Two separate shows. I have the little boxing show for you pugilism fans, Off the Couch Boxing, and for you rock and metal maniacs, we got you covered here with Pod Scum. They both share the same Facebook page, and again, that handle is Off the Couch Boxing and Pod Scum. Same with us on Instagram, same handle on Instagram, Off the Couch Boxing and Pod Scum, and lo and behold, our YouTube channel, which just happens to be called Off the Couch Boxing and Pod Scum. I've made it simple for all of us, you and myself.
Oh, there we go.
Look at that. He popped right in, and it's like we're just, it's like we took a temporary timeout. We kind of had to start over again. I was right in the middle of my little preamble, and then here you are again.
There you go. Look at that.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you popping back on. It's kind of like we went right back into rewind again, man. So first, I'll start from the beginning. Congrats. Another great BUCKCHERRY record comes out in 2025, man. It's almost like we didn't even talk about this stuff, but we kind of did. And then everything just went black. For people that might not know, we were in the midst of one, and then technology just stuck it in and broke it off.
Well, you know, there's a song on the new BUCKCHERRY album called Blackout. So there you go.
And we just literally experienced it, man.
Yeah.
How befitting, right? I mean, and
I say,
yeah, I would say so too. So I'll run back just quickly through a couple of the questions. I know that I asked you about your upbringing. So you did grow up in somewhat of a musical household, right? There were records playing, but your parents weren't musically proficient.
yeah, I mean, it wasn't like I've heard some stories of some parents being pretty musically, or my dad turned me on to this, or my mom turned me to this, and they were into basic stuff. I mean, I always say my mom was the coolest because she saw Elvis, you know. So
Yeah.
I think maybe twice, you know. But other than that, and just some of the basics, there was a lot of Simon and Garfunkel and Janis Joplin and you know, Frank Sinatra, but there wasn't any serious rock and roll really, like what I brought in. That was me. I brought that into the house.
Yeah. So you corrupted your parents rather than
Pretty
vice
much.
versa. Yeah. Yeah.
I would say so.
And so where does your mom get to see Elvis? He came through your neck of the woods?
Well, San Francisco.
Yeah.
You know, when she was, you know, pretty much, I guess, like a teenager, you know. So
yeah. Oddly enough, I'm in upstate New York, man, and I'm in between Utica and Syracuse. And Elvis was supposed to come to the. I don't know if this bodes well for his career, because the auditorium in Utica is not the greatest place for concerts. But he was supposed to come there, and then he died. 2 weeks before that date or whatever. Some of my friends' parents actually still had their tickets or whatever. Obviously, it didn't happen or whatever. But I'm not so sure if that would have been a career high for him coming to Utica, New York. But
yeah. That was the end. That was the 70s era. My mom saw him in like the 60s era, you know.
So she got the in shape, svelte Elvis.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. You get back when you can still squeeze into the black jumpsuit.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's the way I like to remember Elvis.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. You know, I mean, a little bit of it. You know, I mean, I get it with the later years, but you know, still.
Yeah. And so you first get a guitar in your hands at what age?
I must have been, you know, like 11, 12 or something like that.
Would you consider yourself self-taught, or were there lessons involved in your journey?
Yeah, I had lessons in the beginning, but I kind of was more of a listen to stuff and figure it out. So A little bit of both. A little bit of the, the lessons at the beginning, and then I kind of just took it and just, all I wanted to do was learn songs that I was into and bands that I listened to. So.
Yeah. I'm always interested though when people start on lessons, because I'm not a musician myself, and I always lament the fact that I never, stayed with an instrument. I envy people. It's almost like speaking like another language. Are you somebody that? But I have a lot of musicians on here who come on here and say, "I do everything by ear. Don't know shit about tabs or reading music." Are you proficient at those type of things?
No, yeah, I'm more of a by ear.
You are? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So never learned to actually read it, or could you kind of figure it out if you had to? No,
not really. No, I
It's
did
like
in the early years of like music class in school, but that stuff all dissipated in my brain. So
when you were in school, did they try to push you into like the less glamorous instruments?
Well, a friend of mine who I'm still close with, my friend Robe, him and I were in music class together in high school. And we had been playing guitar already. So our music teacher said, well, I'm going to put you guys in just a separate room and you guys just could do your own thing. And we used to basically go through his Kiss original songbook. And basically that was it. We would just learn rock songs and just hang out and play guitar together. So.
But never tried to steer you towards like a horn or something like that, right?
No. That was the other class that our teacher she was into seeing us that we were already into something. So she put us into a separate room without the other kids in the class because they were learning that kind of stuff. That was the class.
Right. Yeah.
She liked that we already played something, so she wanted us to, go deeper with it on our own.
And so your gateway drug, I think we talked about this before, was Ace Frehley and Kiss, though. That was kind of like your, What was it about Ace's playing? I mean, you could probably speak to this better as an actual guitar player, man. What is it that resonated with you about Ace's playing that really got you tapped into him?
Well, I mean, the whole thing of Kiss is that the whole, the whole big, whatever you want to call it, the cartoon, the magic, the songs, the hooks, the riffs, the whole excitement of Kiss just drew my generation in like crazy in the 70s,
Yeah, they really are.
Ace is one of those guys that I just I remember Kiss Alive was the first one I got, the first album. It was Christmas of 1975, and it was that booklet. I opened that booklet while listening to the record, and it's that last page of Ace playing his Tobacco Burst Les Paul, and it was that book. I just connected with it.
Yeah, I just recently watched like some videos of Kiss getting interviewed on some talk show, man. And like young Ace, well, he probably had the same laugh even when he was older, man. But such an infectious laugh and such charisma, you know what I mean? Like he really seemed to be like a notorious ball breaker.
Yeah, he was hilarious.
Yeah. Did you ever get a chance to actually meet him?
Yeah, I met him a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Would you say that was one of the ones, because you've traveled the world, got to play shows all over the place, was that one of the more impactful, hero meets that you ever got to have? Or did you meet anybody else along the way that really blew you away?
Well, yeah, he definitely was one of them.
Yeah.
Well, it was a big deal, but then, JetBoy toured with Cheap Trick. So that was another one. Nielsen
That's
and
a big one.
Peterson and Bunny Carlos. And, meeting the Aerosmith guys at one point, it's just all of that is that those are the bands. Those are kind of the core ones that I just was all about as a kid.
Yeah. What was the hardest part when you first tap into the guitar, and you kind of peel back from the lessons and start trying to really dig in and learn it on your own, man? What was the hardest part, man? Because it certainly is one of those things that not everybody digs in and stays the course. You see kids a lot start instruments and they abandon them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what kept me on it?
Yeah, what kept you on it? Was there any part of it that was daunting? Was there any, was there any inclination ever to throw in the towel? Was it frustrating early on?
No, I think I kind of figured out what I was going to be good at right away.
Yeah.
And I really just wanted to be in a band and play. So I wasn't out to be a virtuoso or anything like that. I just wanted, by the time I started playing in the early JetBoy days, we were all influenced by bands like Hanoi Rocks and Lords of the New Church.
Yeah.
Kicks and stuff. But it was the AC/DC when that kind of entered my life in the 70s after Kiss, Aerosmith, and Cheap Trick, and whatever, go to Angel and Stars and all kinds of bands at that time. AC/DC was the one that really hooked me hard. And to this day, it's really kind of style wise, Malcolm Young was always that guy. I kind of just felt like, yeah, this is kind of what I could do, you know?
Yeah. And AC/DC is one of those bands, man, that has somehow just been able to stay the course, stay consistent, and nobody ever accuses them or says, God, they sound the same every album. You know what I mean? They seem to have found what works. They stick with it. It's not broke. They don't fix it, man, but it works every single time.
Yeah, I exactly.
It's a formula.
Yeah, it's a formula and a craft.
I feel like BUCKCHERRY has stumbled upon that too, man. And like when you guys craft songs, it typically starts with riffs. I know obviously probably Josh and Stevie probably take the reins with a lot of the creative stuff.
Yeah. I mean, everything starts with like a riff or some melody or it could be a title.
Right.
That just kind of hooks the whole thing together, you know, and gets the momentum going on writing the song. So,
and now your journey into the band started a few years back, and you had told me the story, but so you had a link with current bass player Kelly Lemieux, correct? It was kind of like your foray into the group.
No, I didn't talk to Kelly. It was Stevie that brought me in, and he was the guy making the calls when even like our drummer Francis came in. That was Stevie. He kind of became the guy to put the pieces together at that time when it was changing, you know. But I just happened to have known, you know, I knew Kelly was in the band, but he's a guy that, you know, when I got in the band, I've known him a long time.
Yeah. And BUCKCHERRY are notorious road dogs, man. Still love touring, man. Like, what's your relationship like with touring?
Touring's great. We love touring, you know?
Yeah. But you know, there's obviously like a dichotomy there, you know, where certainly people like to be around their creature comforts. You know what I mean? There's a glamorous side to touring and getting to see different parts of the world, man. But, you know, is it a fine line between being out there for too long and coming home?
Yeah, I think that, you know, when you're younger, it's easier to go longer, you know? And when you're older, it's better to go shorter and then take those little breaks, you know?
Yeah.
You don't want to burn out on anything. You can burn out on shit you love to do.
No doubt. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Have you experienced that during your career at all? Any kind of burnout?
Well, sometimes it just depends, you know, it depends on the tour and who you're out with, you know. Most of the time you're out with, you know, if you're out with somebody that the bands that you totally click with and the magic and chemistry is there for the shows and everything, then it's like, you know, you can keep on moving and going.
Yeah.
But it's not always like that, you know. So sometimes some are a little tougher than others.
When BUCKCHERRY puts out a new album, you know, being that you guys are like, you know, probably one of the bigger and most consistent, you know, rock bands out there right now, I imagine that there's feedback, criticism. You know, do you read into that much? Do you check out, hey, well, let me see what people are saying about this new album?
A little bit, but not much, you know.
That's probably healthy.
Skip through a couple things, but you know, it's all the attention span of that stuff. It's kind of tough, you know. But I imagine feedback is probably good for you guys, because very much like I said about AC/DC, you guys have really seemed to stumble on like a formula that works, man. Catchy, you know, hook laden, just great rock and roll songs. Yeah. I mean, it's good. It doesn't hurt. Some people don't like to read stuff. Some people are fine with reading it, you know. So it's all kind of, you know, individual thinking of that kind of stuff, you know. And I know I mentioned this to you earlier, but you know, when I am putting together notes and I am doing my research for these interviews, I do sometimes, you know, try to look into, you know, what the band has done recently, you know, how their new stuff is being perceived and reviewed. And I do see, and I think I told you this earlier, that I do see when albums get reviewed, a common thread nowadays, and again, this is probably dwindling attention spans and where we are now in 2025, but it always seems to be a sticking point, man, where somewhere along the review, they'll talk about, you know, how long the album is, how many songs, how many minutes. Is BUCKCHERRY conscientious of this? I know you said like 10 songs is kind of the wheelhouse for the band. Yeah, it seems like, well, yeah, with this band, it seems like 10 songs is the structure of doing a record, you know, so. Yeah. Things can change. I think it really depends who you work with. If it's on, you know, whatever the label is, who's involved, and like, you know, with producing and all that, you know. So it just depends. Some people put out records and they got 20 songs on it, you know. I know. You guys though, like this one came in at 10 songs, 32 minutes. That's like Lean and Mean right there. You know what I mean? All killer, no filler. That's 70s style right there. That's like a old Kiss or an L. Smith record, 35, 40 minutes tops. Yeah. Fun side too.
Yeah, yeah. It all had to fit in like under 40 minutes, right?
Yeah, yeah. Back
That
in the
kind of
old
is a
days,
good
we had
formula.
vinyl, so you had to stick within a time.
Yeah, yeah. I know you mentioned after the holidays, BUCKCHERRY, doing some shows and stuff overseas, man. Do you see a big difference when you go overseas and play in European markets as opposed to the American audiences?
Yeah, although it's different for sure. I mean, we don't get over there or as much, so you see a little bit of more. I don't know what the word would be for that, but sometimes it's just a little different because you're not there all the time. You do the States all the time. You kind of see some of the same people every so often, but over there it's a little more refreshing.
Now, I got to see you guys, as I said, I think last year or the year before in Syracuse, small club, bordered on like a dive bar. When you guys play a show like that, because BUCKCHERRY is an arena capable rock band, when you guys play those little shows, what is the impetus behind playing those shows? Are they warm-ups? Are they just like in between big dates to kind of keep your chops up, man? Like, why would you play like a place that small? And believe me, I was blown away because seeing a band like that in an intimate setting like that, is very rare. I mean, I'm talking about the Lost
Yeah.
Horizon in Syracuse, one of my favorite dive bars. Seen many amazing concerts there. Got to see you guys there, but seeing BUCKCHERRY, on the sign outside at a place like the Lost Horizon, is a head scratcher sometimes, man, because you don't expect to see you guys in a place like that.
Yeah, like I guess that does happen. I mean, a lot of times it is a show to get to the next show if it's a
Right.
small town or whatever. But I know the goal of the band. The band wants to get back up to just basically doing like the bigger stuff.
Yeah.
I like this. I mean, the small stuff is great when it's a big, packed, sweaty room and all that.
Yeah.
It's definitely more fun when those shows are special shows. You don't do a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
You're doing the
Yeah.
bigger stuff, and then like Metallica does it. They'll do, being from San Francisco, they'll do club dates unannounced because they want to keep those roots going.
Right. Right. Yeah.
That makes it more exciting and stuff. I mean, that's kind of how I see things with BUCKCHERRY down the line too.
And you are known for BUCKCHERRY, obviously JETBOY. But at this stage of your career, and again, I mentioned this earlier, I'll have guys on here that are in 4 or 5 different projects. Are you one of those guys that likes to stay busy with multiple projects? I know you got the guitar company as well.
Yeah, not too much. I mean, I'll do stuff if I'm asked, but I'm not really. Yeah, I'm not searching for it. I'll do with my friend Dean Del Rey, we do this AC/DC thing every couple years. So we're doing that in February, tribute to Bon Scott, the Church of Bon Scott or whatever. Other than that, going out to searching for something, not really, maybe working with Mick on some new JETBOY material. And other than that, not really. I mean, if something came up, I mean, there's ideas, like maybe a punk rock supergroup or something,
A punk rock supergroup. There we go. Yeah. Now, when you envision something like that, man, who's in the punk rock supergroup with Billy Rowe?
I don't know. Well, I was talking to Lars from Rancid. We were talking before about doing something.
Okay, that's a good start.
He hit me up. I hit him up, and so whatever. You never know. Maybe something like that. It'd be kind of cool to cross that rock and roll and punk. Because I'm super into was very into the punk thing.
Yeah.
Talking to Rachel Bolan about that. We were all kind of talking about something. So yeah, you never know.
So Rachel from Skid Row has an interest in the punk stuff too.
Oh yeah, he's super into it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, where does the punk influence come from, man? Can you remember the first like punk rock that you heard?
Well, it'll be the 70s of the Ramones and the JETBOYs, and of course the Sex Pistols and the Clash and Generation X and Champ 69, the Damned. I mean, it keeps on going, right? I mean, I love all that stuff.
So if you are going to listen to music and you're around your house or in your car, man, are you, and I'm guilty of this too. Doing the podcast has certainly helped because I try to, have younger bands on, newer artists, give them a platform or whatever. But when I listen though, sometimes I get into my comfort zone and I fall back on shit that's familiar to me, and I don't always go out and explore new music. Is that kind of like your listening trend as well, or do you seek out newer music and newer bands?
I'll seek out some newer music if something I hear something online or searching, whatever, scrolling through Instagram stuff, but it goes back to the old stuff, and not that they're a newer band, but the Darkness, I guess it's 25 years, but their new record came out. So I'll keep up with stuff like that. I mean, new record's fantastic, and bands like the Wild Hearts. But not long ago, I discovered this band called I think it's the Bites, and that was cool. That was they're like a new band, and so there's stuff out there if it catches my ear,
You've been doing this for so long. When you do hear something new, man, you know what I mean? But what gets you, how does it resonate with you, man? Like, what gets you, like, tapped into it and saying, I'm going to go back and give this another listen? Because I imagine you've been doing this for so long. You've probably heard and seen a lot of stuff done and redone and maybe, done by newer artists. And it feels like it's been already done. What gets you to tap into something new? Like, what does it have to do to really resonate with you?
Well, if it looks like a rock band I'd be into, or a power pop punk band or whatever, but a lot of it is just the songs, Certain songs are just instantly, if they're infectious and super hooky and catchy, it'll get my attention.
Now, I feel like
AC/DC driven, it'll get my attention.
I feel like BUCKCHERRY has that ability to constantly write, like, you referred to the hooky songs. When you guys are going to write songs for BUCKCHERRY, I imagine even though you adhere to the 10-song formula, that there's more than 10 songs created, man. What happens to the ones, and how do you guys decide what makes the cut and ends up on a BUCKCHERRY album?
Yeah, I'm not the decision maker on what makes the cut, but usually it's 15 to 20 songs written, and then it starts to get trimmed down to what 10 are going to make it.
Yeah. Are there songs sometimes that you would like to see make it that don't, but
I'm sure there are. I know there's been a couple here and there, so that happens.
And what happens to those wayward songs? Do they end up on future projects? Are they fleshed out maybe at a later date and could appear on other BUCKCHERRY albums?
A bonus track on the whatever the new record that's coming out, or it could just goes into the file and revisited later, or it's not. It's just depends,
There used to kind of be a formula back in the day where a band would put on an album and they would, have a touring cycle, and there would be like a couple years, in between, them putting out an album and then putting out their next album. Is that timeline kind of still relevant, or is that all kind of out the window now with streaming and the way we're consuming music nowadays?
I guess if you're big enough and you're still in the new zone of being a newer band, putting out a record, and then the cycle seems to work,
Yeah.
But I think if you're more of legacy or a classic band, which I consider BUCKCHERRY, I think when it comes to, you could put something out as a tool to, bring in the old school fans, like, who are just going to always buy a BUCKCHERRY record.
Right.
I think the key is to moving forward, to keep things moving good, is just good package tours.
Yeah.
And you go out there and play, and when you go, you see the bill and you go like, wow, I can't miss this. This is a great lineup.
Yeah.
I think that the key to all these bands that are from the 70s and 80s, that how they survive is that's really what made them big today. Is you team up with bands that from that era or whatever, and you make it an event.
Now, what about bands? I just had this conversation with someone on the podcast today, and I don't want to mention any bands or impugn any artists out there. But what do you feel about? And there's a lot of them out there, artists that are touring right now, under the name of a band, but no original members left in the band.
Well, I think there's a documentary on that. The brand band or whatever. It's a brand. I mean,
yeah.
The guy came up with Levi's has been dead for years, but people still make him wear Levi's.
Right. Right. Yeah. Good point.
It's like it depends how you look at it. You either like, there's people today that love all this music from that time, and they're never going to see the original band. I mean, there's Elvis impersonators that we talk about Elvis. I mean, that's probably the first that came out that people will pack. These guys will pack rooms being an Elvis impersonator, even a Rolling Stones tribute band, because people are not going to see that again. I mean, the Stones, but that's even limited to a degree. They don't do that many shows. And
right.
At some point, if it's the real guys behind it running it as a business, so I think Leonard Skinner was probably the first one to do that.
Yeah. Oddly enough, I think that was the one that came up. In that episode, we were talking about them going out with Foreigner, and they're going to be touring together this summer, and neither band has any original members, actually.
the name. And it's at the end of the day, what lives forever are the songs.
The songs. Yeah. Yeah.
The songs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's people that go see Journey now or whatever, bands that have no original or like one or two original guys in it. And they don't care.
Yeah.
They just want the songs. They don't even know who the original guys are, probably.
Right. They just know the songs. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you're from the era of the original band, like I am, and probably you are, then it's that you have a connection with these original guys because they were the guys in the band that you are a fan of. There's this, you're connected to it. But these people nowadays, they're not connected to it like the early generation who grew up on these bands who are doing that.
Are there bands that you've gone out to see, and I'm sure you've seen lots of concerts, throughout the course of your life? Are there any live experience that you've attended as a fan where you were really blown away?
What of a non-original lineup?
No, of just you going to a concert, man. Like your best concert experience, man. Like who's somebody that you went to see live that blew you away?
Oh, there's a bunch of them. I mean, there's all kinds of bands that I go see, from the classic ones to Aerosmith, the AC/DC. I just went to see The Darkness a couple weeks ago, and they were freaking great.
Great live, yeah,
amazing live. They're a great band.
And so obviously you guys are obviously taking some time off for the holidays, man. But what happens when 2026 ramps up, man? What's on the docket for BUCKCHERRY?
So we got the UK dates with Michael Monroe in late February through early March, and then it's some festivals through the summertime. So
okay.
After that, I'm not really sure. It's going to be either going to be fly dates through the year or pick up and do a couple runs. Maybe if something pulls together with a tour, we'll see.
And what kind of creative person are you, man? I asked you this earlier, and obviously didn't get the answer, because of the technical issues. But when you're going to create music, are you one of these, hey, ideas are popping in throughout the day? Let me jot this down. Let me hum this into my phone. Or do you treat it like punching a clock, like a job? I'm going to sit here. I'm going to write some music.
No, it's all in the moment stuff.
Spontaneity.
When I'm in the moment to do it,
Yeah.
So.
And if you are going to write a BUCKCHERRY riff at this point in time, man, like, do they come, because BUCKCHERRY's been doing it and has that formula for so long, do they come pretty easy?
Not always, it really depends, it's just some stuff comes easy, some stuff you got to really kind of work through it.
And so what are you presented when you're going to add your part to a BUCKCHERRY song? Like, are you presented kind of like a skeleton of the song and kind of
there's usually stuff is pretty much demoed with my experience now with the band, and then I will listen to it and I will see what I can put in as my part. It doesn't really change a lot, but I may change the way I play, that way it's played, or the way, just little things like that, to kind of add that touch into it,
nuances,
my own thing,
Yeah.
There's that song "Good Time," and when I listen to it, I'm like, well, I think I could do like a slide thing in there, and that's kind of been a bit of a forte for BUCKCHERRY on some songs where there's slide stuff. So I took that one and it was just rhythm, and I'm like, oh no, I think I could turn that into a slide riff for the second guitar, and that's what I did.
Now, obviously, you play guitar. You've got the guitar company. Are there days where you just say, fuck it, not today, I'm not picking up a guitar?
Yeah.
Or do those days not exist?
No? They always exist. Yeah. I mean, those days exist. Yeah.
I mean, you must get to a point sometimes where you just, do you have days where you just say, I don't even want to see a guitar?
Yeah. I mean, I love looking at guitars and noodling on guitars, but there's days that it's sitting next to me, but I'm not touching it.
And when you get into the guitar business, what's the impetus for that? Obviously, you're a guitar player, but every guitar player doesn't necessarily get into the guitar business. How do you segue into that?
Oh, how did I? I was always into tinkering on guitars. I was always into crafty. In school, I was into wood shop and art and whatever, anything creative, really. So I just, with the tinkering and painting, I was into this. Taking guitars apart in the old days and painting in a new color. In high school, my project when woodshop was, I decided I'm going to make a guitar. So I made a guitar in high school, and then I'm just always into it. And then whatever it was 20 years ago, I just kind of did a couple parts guitars, as they call them, like Tellys and Strats, and
Yeah.
For myself, and then I sold one, and then here comes the internet, and I put one on eBay, and I sold it, and then I'm like, oh, maybe I could do something with this, and here I am.
Now, I am not a musician, and so after I ask this question, I'll just nod and pretend like I know what the fuck you're talking about. But for the people out there that do want to know how you get that classic sound in Buckcherry, songs, do you have a specific rig or gear, for the people out there that might be curious?
My rig has always been really straightforward, and just a simple JMP Marshall with a 412 cabinet. Not a lot of pedals, real basic.
And do you have a specific brand of guitar that you?
I play my brand guitars now, Rock N Roll Relics. But in the old days, like the JETBOY days, I was very into Gretsch guitars.
Okay.
So that was my thing. Again, it was like the Malcolm Young thing. So, but I love all kinds of brands of guitars. I mean, I just grew up on all this stuff in the 70s and 80s. So from the Ibanez Iceman with Paul Stanley played, to the Charvels, to the Eddie Van Halen stuff, to the V that Shanker played, and Malcolm Young's duo Jet Firebird, Gretsch, and Angus's SG, Ace Frehley's Les Paul, Paul Stanley's Firebird, Joe Perry's Travis Bean, and Dan Electro. I mean, it's been going forever.
And so when you pick up a guitar, man, and you're going to play it like, on songs or whatever, I'm curious again, because I'm not a musician, man, what draws you to a guitar, man? Because I obviously, to a lay person, you strum a guitar, that's plugged in, you might not be able to tell like the difference between a tone or whatever. Obviously, to a trained ear, like you probably can, man. What would draw you to a guitar, man? Like, what do you look for, like, in a guitar, man? Like, what do you pick out?
I grew up on all the classic stuff, so all classic looking guitars. I'm not really into kind of the more modern looking stuff. That's just not something that I grew up with. So.
And what about the playing part of it, though, man? Like, does it have to make a certain sound, man? Like, what are you hearing that says,
I like guitars that are real basic, real 70s. Like kind of more the organic, just a 70s sounding rock guitar, There's the metal tones and all that. I love a lot of that stuff, but that's not really my thing as a player.
Yeah. We always hear a lot of big names get thrown around, man. You just mentioned like a lot of them, man. When you're talking about Michael Schenker and Eddie Van Halen, who's somebody that you think, as a fellow guitar player, that is criminally underrated as a guitar player? We always hear about all these guitar gods, all these guys that are great, that belong up on the Mount Rushmore, these guitar heroes. Is there somebody out there that you feel like is a great player that has never got his flowers, got his just due?
Well, it depends on the era, I mean, you're talking like 80s or 70s or 90s. I really wouldn't know much, but I know bands, but I don't know who that really would be. But it depends on the time,
Like a 70s or 80s player.
I guess in the 70s I was into some pretty obscure bands in the 70s they seemed as big as Kiss and Cheap Trick and Aerosmith to me, but bands like Angel, so Punky Meadows, phenomenal guitar player.
Yeah.
You had Stars, you had Richie Rana, who was another great guitar player. Rick Derringer was always known as a great guitar player. Ronnie Montrose was another great guitar player, but I don't think they ever got the credit as some of the other ones that came along after them.
Right. You don't hear their names thrown around the same.
No, not especially like Rick Derringer and Ronnie Montrose. Those were probably the two original guitar heroes.
Yeah. And so consistently you always hear, as I said, a lot of the same names. And one obviously that you hear put up on a pedestal all the time is the late great Eddie Van Halen, man. Mm-hmm. And you guys speak to this as a guitar player yourself. What makes somebody be a guitar god, a guitar hero, man? Like, what is it that people will throw Eddie's name out all the time, and the minute I ask somebody, who's an amazing guitar player, who's an influence, his name comes up a lot.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, look what he did. I mean, you can't deny that he changed the game.
Yeah,
completely. I mean, were there guys doing hammer-ons and stuff that he was doing? Yeah, but he did it in a way, and his stuff was very melodic, very hooky. His solos were as hooky as the choruses of the songs, and he just, I don't know, he just had that thing,
Yeah.
Randy Rhoads was the same, he just had a shorter life of it.
Yeah, sad. I
Michael
know.
Schenker for sure.
Yeah. It has been a bad year too, man. We have been losing our, our musical heroes, man. It's a tough year. Ozzy, Ace. I mean, it's been a tough year for the rock and roll world.
Yeah.
And yeah, very brutal. And so I asked you about the BUCKCHERRY album coming out in 2025. We talked about the tour cycle and all that stuff, man. So does BUCKCHERRY kind of adhere to that same rule of thumb? How often does BUCKCHERRY strive to get out new music in today's landscape?
It seems to have been, since I've been in, it's like every 2 years or so.
Yeah, which is pretty productive.
It's pretty productive. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's very old school. I mean, in the 70s, some bands were doing at least an album a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then things changed in the 80s, and then it was every couple of years. And so, but now with technology, it's like people could do a lot of stuff at home.
Do you like where we are in 2025, man? Are you a streaming fan, or are you more like a physical product vinyl guy?
I'm a physical product guy, but I have a ton of it, but I stream.
Yeah, you kind of have to.
I'm convenience now. It's all convenience for me, basically.
Yeah. It is a lot of convenience. Yeah, it is
a lot. I mean, I love vinyl. I love the CDs and cassettes and everything, and I have everything I've had since I was a kid, vinyl-wise, probably 1,000 or more albums, but I don't spin them anymore. I always say I'm going to, but maybe someday when I have a little more time on my hands, I'll do that.
Are you a fan of these? Because we're talking about all these rock heroes, and some of them passing away, and the industry is not the same. There's not really big labels anymore putting money into artists and creating these huge iconic, people like Madonna or Prince or Bruce Springsteen. Are we going to see more artists like this, and where will they come from?
Oh, I'm sure we will. I mean, I can't keep up with anything. I mean, the big one right now is Youngblood. He goes out and sings, I guess, Changes for the Ozzy tribute thing. But I haven't really listened to him, but I like that he's a rock guy. And if that brings rock to the forefront again with somebody like him, then that's awesome. So, but I don't know other than like who else is really out there. I think it's just a different climate. It's not what it used to be.
Do you put any stock in these TV shows that try to discover musicians? The Voice, American Idol?
I don't really watch those, never got into it, but I know there's some people on those shows that were the winners that have huge careers.
Yeah. There have been some good ones off of there, man. But
we had shows like that back then, in the 70s, you had Star Search, that existed, but it's a different level now.
Oh, that's right. We did have Star Search. Oh my God, I completely forgot about Star Search.
Yeah, you had Solid Gold, and I mean there was all kinds of stuff back then, but it's just it's different.
Yeah, we got people going. You got people running and googling what those are now, man. We're time stamping ourselves
American
now.
Bandstand, Soul Train,
Yeah, the good old days.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, are you big on the holidays? How will you spend your holidays?
I'll spend it with my mom, and family up in the Bay Area. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, in the Bay Area. Yeah, that's gotta be. Yeah, that's gotta be in. Is the music scene around the Bay Area still pretty amazing?
I've been gone for a little bit. I think the amazing part of the Bay Area music scene has been gone for a bit, but Bay Area, a lot of great stuff came out of there. Some of the biggest bands ever, and some of the biggest bands today are from the Bay Area.
Yeah. And so before I let you out of here, man, if people want to tap into to what's going on, obviously BUCKCHERRY, huge band, probably have a website so people can tap in there, man. But even you specifically, man, what you got going on, the guitar company, if people are interested in, where's the best place to tap in and find out what you got?
rockandrollrelics.com, and we got JETBOYROCKS.com. Those would be the two that can basically lead to others, and of course there's BUCKCHERRY.com.
And what is on the front for JETBOY?
Nothing right now.
Nothing right now, but
nothing right now, but something will come up because it always does. So
something always.
We will see what happens in 26. You never know.
Fair enough, man.
Some new music would be nice.
Yeah, but the new album, absolutely incredible, man. BUCKCHERRY,
awesome.
Fucking does it again, man. That's all you can say, man. Every time a BUCKCHERRY album comes out, man, I listen to it and I say they've done it again.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Never fails, man. Never fucking fails.
There you go. Well, thank you. It's straight up rock and roll band. No frills.
That's what I like, man. Yeah, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, man. You know what I mean? Like us old school guys, man. That's what
the wheel works fine.
The wheel works fine. Thank you for saying it, man. It does, man. Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you doing this, man. And I really appreciate you, man, blacking out on me and then running home and plugging in, man, and getting back with me again, man. I sat here patiently in my studio waiting, and I said, Billy says he's on his way home. I'm fucking waiting on him.
There you go. I did it.
Yeah.
We're all good.
Yeah, we hooked up again, man. Thanks, Billy. I really appreciate it. Thank you, man. Cool. Enjoy your holidays, man, really.
You too.
Yes, thanks, buddy.
All right. Thanks, man.
Later. And there he goes, folks. My guy, Billy Rowe of the amazing BUCKCHERRY, also JETBOY. BUCKCHERRY, like I said, has done it again. Dropped another album, Roar Like Thunder, in 2025. What you see is what you get from the fellas, man. It's always, as he said, straight ahead, no frills, ass-kicking fucking rock and roll. This album, no different. 10 songs, 32 minutes, lean, mean, trim, all killer, no filler. Just what you want out of a BUCKCHERRY album, man. Again, that band never lets us down. Really one of the preeminent rock and roll bands. They've quietly put together this amazing, 30-year career, man, and just constantly kicking ass, staying consistent. Great band. Josh Todd, one of the most amazing rock frontmen. Just incredible, man. Love those guys to death, man. Great to have Billy back on here again for a second time. I've had the privilege of having Kelly on, Francis. I will eventually run down Josh and Stevie. It will happen just because I love these guys so much, man. Great band. Do yourself a favor. Get to wherever you listen to music and check out Roar Like Thunder. It's the latest from BUCKCHERRY. And of course, you can go back and check out the amazing discography, the amazing work that's already there. Be a good fan, man. Get out there, get after it, man. And go to the website. Like I always say, be a good fan. Get on a mailing list, sign up for a newsletter, go catch a live show, cop some merch. Lift these artists up. They're out there grinding. They're out there hustling. They're out there touring the world, sweating for us. Putting on amazing shows for us, man. We owe it to them, man. It's not an easy time to be a musician these days. Even an established, amazing band like BUCKCHERRY, they need us fans to show up and show out for them, man, and give them some love, man. So do that. Now I'll get into my obligatory promotional spiel one more time. I'll run through it for you guys. Make sure to tap in with PodScum on Facebook. Our handle, again, is Off the Couch Boxing and PodScum. Don't be confused. I got two separate podcasts, and I promote them through one Facebook page and one Instagram. I will not do more than that. I got a life to live here, folks. So that's the handle. Same on Instagram, Off the Couch Boxing and PodScum. Happen with us on both of those platforms. And of course, if you're here right now, this is where you're going to see these amazing conversations in their entirety. So please like, please subscribe, and please smash that notification bell to stay tapped in and be privy and in the loop when new content drops. We bring you something new every single week. So get with us, man. 2025 is winding down. 2026 will be bigger and better than ever. I'm going to run down some incredible guests. So strap in with us, man, and take the ride. Got a lot of great content coming your way. Again, I want to express my gratitude for my viewers, my subscribers, of course, my guests. Today, I specifically want to express my gratitude for Billy Rowe. He hopped on here. You guys obviously won't get to see this part, but we started an interview. We were about 10, 12 minutes in. Billy's laptop died. He was over at the guitar shop. He hustled home, plugged it back in, charged himself back up. We jumped on here and we fired it back up, and we ran through a lot of those questions again. Billy was kind enough to do that, man. So I really appreciate him extending himself, being generous with his time. That's why BUCKCHERRY is fucking amazing, man. They are a band that is for the fucking people, us rock fans. That's how you prove it right there, man, by just fucking giving back. Doesn't owe me that at all, man, but just a fucking great guy, a great band. So go out there and lift those boys up, man. If they're coming to a town near you, get to a fucking show, man. Cop some of that awesome BUCKCHERRY merchandise, man, and rock that new fucking album because it is fucking killer. But need I have to say that, man? It's BUCKCHERRY, for fuck's sake. So again, I appreciate you guys, man. At the time of this recording, it is December 3rd. Like I said in other episodes, the new content might slow down a bit. I want to respect people and enjoying time with their families during this holiday season. But you can go back and watch past episodes. We are up over 350 episodes of PodScum and 300 episodes of Off the Couch Boxing if you're a pugilism fan. So this channel has a lot of back content that you can dive into. I always say it, there's something there for everybody. Here on PodScum, we've covered a lot of different musical genres, mainly rock and metal, but there is other stuff there to dive into. Same with Off the Couch Boxing. A lot of legendary fighters, a lot of young, rising, up-and-coming future stars. So there's a lot there to sink your teeth into, man. I've been busy these last 3 years. A lot of content there. Over 650 total episodes, man. So your boy Reckless Rexx, he's been grinding and hustling too. So might have to take a little break here. You know, I'll see if people are receptive, who I can run down. But all due respect, I like people to enjoy their holidays, and I want to enjoy mine with my family. So I will do my best to sprinkle in some new content as it comes to me. And I do have some stuff scheduled here for the next couple of weeks. Leading up to Christmas. And then I don't know how it'll be. It'll be hit or miss, but I'm not going to browbeat people and badger them into trying to do interviews around this time of year. It's a time when we really should be enjoying it and just, you know, spending those moments with our families. So I appreciate all you guys. Again, big thanks to my guy, Billy Rowe from BUCKCHERRY, man. And until we get together and we do this thing again, folks, this is your boy, Reckless Rexx, reminding you to take it easy and keep it sleazy.